Hello, everyone. Welcome to Doing Life Together, episode 75. It is Sonia Eckel, your host. And today I am going to share with you another of my favorite products. And this one is a Texas summertime sunshine favorite product. Okay. But first of all, before we jump in, I would love to hear if any of you got the gum that I told you about last week. I love this stuff. We here at the Eckel House are quite obsessed. So if you go back to last week, or if you go to you go to thedetoxgirl.com. I think that's where I threw the link. It's a little hard to find the right gum. So anyway, that's where you can find a link for it. And it has the hydroxyapatite in it, which last week we talked all about some of the great benefits that they're finding with that. So awesome. All right. So today I wanted to share with you another one of my favorite products. Anyone who knows me knows that summertime really is my favorite season. Although now that we've moved to Texas and I get nicer weather year round, I will say that Texas summers are a little brutal, even for someone like me. The sun is insanely intense and I like to be out in the sun. And at the same time, I, for many years, have chosen not to use sunscreen unless absolutely necessary, mainly because so many of the sunscreens I knew were toxic. And now studies have come out to confirm that. And the ones with the zinc oxide and whatever, they left my face like so pasty white. And I thought, well, this isn't the best solution either. So when I learned it's been over a decade that we've used this product. When I learned about this product, I hunted it down and started taking it immediately. It is an antioxidant called astaxanthin. And if you're not using this product, I love it. And I was going to tell you guys about it this week anyway. And I just got an email telling me more of the proof they're even seeing with people who take this product and how much better they tolerate UV light. And it's made out of an algae. This particular brand is a Hawaiian sourced brand, so I kind of like that. There's other brands out there. This is just the one that I have been using for years. But anyway, so it's an algae that is very high and protective against UV rays. And then when we as humans take it, it seems to do that within our bodies. So super duper cool. It's also supposed to be really good for our eyes. And again, I think even just sunlight, think about what sunlight does for our eyes. And at the same time, I am a huge fan of the power of sunlight from a health standpoint. So I find myself in this conflict saying, well, I don't want my skin to look terrible. Of course, I don't want to land with skin cancer. Although, interesting fact, again, I learned this from one of my physical therapy patients, over 2 decades ago. And she actually had melanoma, which is a systemic cancer that a lot of people lump into skin cancer, which is precisely what I did. I thought skin cancer, melanoma, period. That go back hand in hand. And after she was diagnosed, it was so odd to her because she said, I'm never in the sun like that. She hadn't been in the sun much in her life. She didn't have all these skin cancer risks. And so in her research, she found that she told me as her therapist, because we worked quite closely together, got to know her really well, which was often the case, right, with clients. But she said, Sonia, skin cancer is different than this. This is a systemic cancer. And she's the one who first told me that sunshine actually decreases systemic cancers, most all of them. It's preventative. And that skin cancer, when you get that mole that's odd and you go have it removed, is one of the only cancers that can be caused by sun, but it does not tend to be as deadly as systemic cancers. I don't know if this is making sense or not. Anyway, it was really back then, and this was before I was full out into my wellness journey. Well, no, actually, I was pretty into it, but just the fact that she shared that with me, it took me from the jargon of fear the sun. Always, every square inch of your body should be covered with sunscreen. Like this thing that sun is bad, and we want to protect from it. I actually have sat on the other side of that, and I actually believe that the sun has amazing contributing factors to help our body thrive. And when we put and wear sunscreen or never expose our skin to sun, not only are we missing out on vitamin D, which technically you can just take a supplement for vitamin D, but in what I have found is the sun is about far more than just vitamin D. And even the way our body utilizes the vitamin D from sunshine is different than if you're taking D3. And then D2 is, I think, is more vegetable based. And anyway, vitamin D, critically important, obviously. And if you're deficient, you do not want to be deficient in vitamin D because it's really critical for our body. Now, people who have more melanin in their skin tend to naturally not be able to absorb quite as much vitamin D because the melanin is protective from that. So it is interesting when you just look at, like, I'm from up north, and us northerners, we had to soak up every drop and spot of sun because we didn't get that much of it. A lot of the year we were all bundled because it was cold. So, I have the blue eyes and the light skin. I probably tend to pick up vitamin D pretty quickly. So it is important. Like, you should actually, I believe, work with a medical professional who can do your blood work and check what are your vitamin D levels and make sure that those are healthy. I think that's really, most people are more and more aware of that. And whether you supplement to make sure they're healthy or you just get out in the sun, that's your call. But I think sun is amazing. And as you know, I'm also kind of not like on the excited train to get wrinkles. And I do know that excessive sun exposure does seem to cause faster aging of the skin. And so it's that fine line dance. Um, I have never really seen an esthetician in my life, with the exception of a couple like Norwex trips we went on, and I went into the spa and got a facial. But mostly, I just really have not ever seen an esthetician. But I landed myself in this situation where I have accrued a bunch of credits at this massage place, and I need to use them because I'm just paying money and accruing credits. So I decided, okay, fine. I am going to get so serious about going and getting massages. I know, so rough, right? So lately, I have been about every other Friday, because that's kind of what works in my schedule, going and just to use up these credits at 2-hour massage, which is absolutely delightful. And then I can use them toward a facial. So anyway, so that is, if you hear me talk about my esthetician, she's at this little massage place, and she doesn't do all the Botox and all that stuff. They don't do that there. It's more like you lay down and they put a mask on your face and shine a light to check on the health of your skin and things like that. Some of you know far more about this than I do. But at any rate, she and I were talking about sunscreen, and she actually said, she goes, "You have amazing skin," which has not been my story, actually. Like, for much of my life, I have not felt that I had amazing skin. So that was a huge compliment to hear from an esthetician, actually. And it's hard to know, because you guys know I'm a bit of a biohacker and I do all the things. I just got a new red light that I'm obsessed with. I've been using red light for many, many years. But this new one is like even more. I just love it. I do think it's great. So I'm like, okay, is that helping my skin? It certainly could be. It's one of the perks of the right wavelength of red light. So not all red light is created equal. And you guys can watch my red light podcast if you want to do that. So I was sitting there. I'm not exactly sure, but I know one thing for sure. My skin, when I look in the mirror, even I can tell. And when you look in the mirror, it's so gradual. Sometimes you don't see it. Other people might see it. but even I can see like I am much happier in my own skin, if you will, because it's improving. And another big thing for me has been the Norwex skincare, best skincare and so clean in the ingredients. And that makes me super happy because going back to sunscreen, what they found is a bunch of sunscreens, even the ones that we had kind of thought like, if you're going to go with sunscreen, get this certain brand, it's healthier, have been linked, ingredients in them have been linked to cancer causing. I mean, think about the ludicrousness, the craziness that something we put on our skin because of huge fear of the sun causing cancer, specifically if you're like no skin cancer that you would have taken off, that the ingredients may have blocked the sun, but ultimately have contributed to cancer. I mean, it's kind of depressing, isn't it? Like, oh my goodness, something I thought that was doing so good actually might be doing exactly the opposite. So I think what we put on our skin specifically with clean ingredients is so important. And I really do believe, and like I said, I do a lot of things for my health. I take a ton of supplements, all the things, but I think I have to give a ton of credit to the new Norwex line because since using it is when I began to just see more and more and more and more improvement. And actually, I could sit and talk about all the things. Oh my goodness, so many fun stories. But anyway, so my point being, as I said to my esthetician, I totally get that I should sunscreen my face. And turns out Norwex has a fantastic sunscreen. I actually really like it. It is healthy ingredients, but it doesn't leave that white haze. It has ashwagandha in it. It protects from blue light, right? Computers, phones, the LED lights, all that. So it's good. Like it's an excellent product. And when I was just in Punta Cana, that's the only sunscreen I used was the Norwex facial sunscreen. I just use it everywhere and it works great and I love it. And so I was saying to my esthetician, I've got a great product. It's just a habit, but it's also this conflict in me saying, I want to also get sun. So here's where I'm coming out is I will continue to take my astaxanthin. It's kind of a weird one to say. If you want to find the link to this one, because they make a whole bunch of them. It's a little confusing and knowing like which one to get. I'm sure they're all excellent, honestly, but this is the one that I originally took and I've gotten ever since. So like about everything I tell you about, if you go to the detoxgirl.com or if you go to sonyasfaves.com, SONYAS as in Sam, F as in Frank, AVES.com. Okay, so sonyasfaves.com. And under the wellness one, you'll see this particular one because I like the 12 milligram. It also comes in lower milligrams. Anyway, this is my favorite, but again, I'm sure they're all excellent. And there's other brands out there as well. I just can attest to this one because this is what we use in our family. And we're all very light skinned. All the kids have blue eyes. All of us are very fair. And so this is something that we give the kids. They're in tennis, they're outdoors playing in the beating down Texas sun. And this all summer long, they get this with their other goodies, as we call them. So anyway, highly recommend it. If you haven't gotten the gum yet, this is at thedetoxgirl.com. I've got a link for you and that you will love that too. Just all the little things. I always am so excited when I learn about a product that truly changes my life. And that's why I'm sharing this with you is that I hope they change your life as well. All right. Good to see you all. So put in the comments if you have ever used astaxanthin. And if you have a product like that you have used for years and you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that it works. Oh, by the way, when I travel, I take more than one a day. In Texas, unless I know I'm going to be outside a lot, I might do 2 a day. When I go on a tropical trip, I'm taking at least 2 of these per day. And I just can sing the songs of this. Also really good for skin, joint health, and eye health. So it's a win-win-win antioxidant. but I'd love to hear, what are your favorite products? What are products that you wouldn't live without? Things that have made a difference in your life. All right. So I'm coming to you from my office today. So those of you on Instagram can see a bit of a disaster here. So my local assistant, I have an awesome admin team, and most of them are spread out across the US. But my local assistant had some life going on and ended up going back to teaching. And so I'm missing her dearly, but my office is also missing her. So that's probably just something I need to do. Get it all looking good, because we know that when our space is good, it makes life so much better. I honestly generally work from the ranch. So this is really a Norwex space. So I have, like, keep my trade show stuff in here and all of that. And so anyway, spoiled. I have a couple home offices. All right. Oh, I know what I was going to say. So I can't remember when I shared, but I shared with you guys that I did my thesis in my recent leadership program on emotional freedom. And afterward, a lot of people reached out and I got a couple pieces of feedback like, wow, I had no idea that was something that you did. And how can I do more with this? And so anyway, I decided to get certified to help people clear out emotional baggage. And it is something, because I was first trained in this for 13 years ago, and I've been using it ever since. So it comes obviously very, very naturally to me. And so it's a emotion code clearing. And what I wanted to offer to you guys is a special offer that I'm doing for neighbors in my neighborhood. And it is a limited time, one per person, but just for you, if you would like to experience emotion code and see if you think like, hey, maybe this could help me. What I have seen is so remarkable about this. So many things, financial mindsets, things like that around finances, health for sure. So many ties to health is our emotional baggage. Huge, crazy actually. And of course, the energy level that we have. If you're always like tapped out, totally exhausted, unmotivated, lack of clarity, those are all things that I've found this insanely helpful for. If you are growing a business, I've found it very, very, very helpful in that process, especially if anyway, so could go on and on. For those of you watching on Facebook and YouTube, not those of you catching this on the podcast or Instagram, because I don't have the background, but there is a QR code there. I think it's white. So the one under my book QR code is, if you have not yet gotten a hard copy of my book, I'll send it to you free. You just cover shipping. That's that QR code is for a copy of my book. This book was a pouring out of, it was just an absolutely incredible spiritual experience for me. I didn't see it coming. I just felt very moved to write it. And as I wrote it, I continually felt the Holy Spirit continually like saying, okay, put this in the book, put this in the book. And it was amazing. Maybe I just wrote it for me. I'm not sure, but it was one of the most incredible experiences for me. And so if it blesses you, as I believe it will, and you would like a free hard copy, that little QR code on Facebook and YouTube, you'll find it. By the way, if you ever want to see the video again, and you're like, where do I find it? Go to doinglifetogether.live, doinglifetogether.live. And that should bring you to all of the YouTubes, which then sometimes I'm not able to share screen on the other platforms as well. And then on the other side of my screen, there is another QR code. If you pull up your camera on your phone and you point it to the QR code, it should pull up a link. Hit that. And this is an exclusive, limited time, one per person offer for you to get to do an emotion code session with me. They are 25 minutes. And yeah, I just feel like it is such a gift. And so if I can bless you with that, I actually set it up, like I said, for people in the neighborhood. But I thought, you know what? I want to offer this to my Doing Life Together pod as well. So that is a little bit of an extra gift to you all. All right. Thank you for joining me tonight. Would love to hear, what would you like to talk about coming up on Doing Life Together? And actually, I have some exciting things in the work, not necessarily for Doing Life Together. Of course, we've got exciting things in the work for Doing Life Together too. But stay tuned. If you're not yet on my mailing, like my email list, that's where I send out like things as they come up. And hmm, well, yeah, I've got a link to that you can get on my mailing list. I'm just not sure what it is right off. So anyway, if you, yeah, I'll get that for you guys. If you aren't on it yet, you may want to be on it because there's some really cool stuff coming up that I know is going to bless a lot of people. So anyway, all right. With that, I will plan to see you all next week. Just booked my flights from Norway down to Portugal today. So we're excited for that trip coming up. So we may have to get a little creative. It's about 3 weeks that I'll be in Europe, and I cannot wait. It's going to be amazing. And so stay tuned. We may have to pivot a little bit on Doing Life during that time. We'll see how that goes. All right. God bless you all, and I will see you next week.